There's a place on this planet where compasses supposedly go haywire, where entire ships and squadrons of planes have vanished, literally from the face of the Earth. No warning, no distress call. It's a place where the normal rules just don't seem to apply. And today, we're heading right into the heart of that legend to find out what's really going on. Hello, and a very warm welcome to AskDrift. We are about to tackle one of the world's most enduring mysteries. And hey, if you're the kind of person who loves getting to the bottom of these incredible stories, taking a moment to hit that like button and subscribe would be amazing. It genuinely helps us create more of these explainers for you. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the legendary mystery itself, how these stories even began. Then we'll get into separating the hard facts from the wild fiction. After that, we'll look at the raw and tamed power of the ocean in that region. And the human element that plays such a huge role. And finally, we'll piece it all together to solve the triangle. Okay, so let's set the scene. We're talking about a patch of the Atlantic Ocean, kind of loosely defined between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. This isn't just a shipping lane. It's become a household name, a shorthand for the unexplained, and for a deep, primal kind of fear. The whole legend really took off because of a few chilling events. Back in 1918, you have the USS Cyclops, this enormous Navy cargo ship with over 300 people on board. It just poof, disappeared. Then, the one everybody's heard of, 1945, Flight 19. Not one plane, but an entire squadron of 5 Navy bombers gone during a routine flight. Events like these are what really cemented the Triangle's terrifying reputation. But here's where things get really interesting. We have these powerful stories, for sure, but are they the whole story? It's time to pull back the curtain on the myth and actually look at the cold, hard evidence. When you look at the legend, you hear all sorts of wild stuff. Supernatural forces, bizarre time warps, even alien abductions. But when you look at what the official investigations and scientists have to say, the picture is, well, a lot more down to earth. We're talking about a perfect storm of severe weather, unique navigational problems, and tragically, human error. So let's start with those real-world explanations, because the Bermuda Triangle isn't some paranormal hotspot. It's actually a place where some of the most powerful and volatile forces of nature, the entire planet, all come together. Just try to imagine this, a wall of water, 10 stories high, erupting out of a seemingly normal sea. That's a rogue wave, they are real and they are terrifying. They can pop up without any warning and have enough force to snap a massive ship in half, sinking it in moments. Way too fast for anyone to even get out a distress call. And then you have this other mind-bending phenomenon, methane hydrates. See, the ocean floor there is packed with frozen methane gas. If that gas suddenly erupts, it can turn the water above it into a frothy, bubbly mess. For a ship sailing over it, it's like the floor just drops out. The water can't support the ship's weight anymore, and it can sink like a stone straight to the bottom. On top of all that, the weather there is just incredibly complex. You've got the Gulf Stream. It's basically a massive warm river flowing through the ocean, crashing into cold air. This collision creates some of the most violent, unpredictable storms imaginable. The weather can go from blue skies to hurricane-force winds in minutes, spinning up intense water spouts. It's an absolute nightmare for any pilot or sailor. But it's not all about nature's fury. We also have to talk about the human element. Because a lot of the time, the real mystery isn't some external force. It's about the impossible decisions people are forced to make when they're under incredible pressure. So let's go back to Flight 19, the most famous case. This transmission, whether it's perfectly accurate or not, paints a haunting picture of utter confusion. The pilots were lost, their instruments were failing them, their whole world had turned upside down. So let's walk through what happened. First, the compasses on the lead planes started to malfunction. This threw the squadron leader off completely. He got disoriented and thought he was over the Florida Keys when he wasn't. Because of that one mistake, he made a fatal decision. He turned to Squadron East, deeper out into the vast Atlantic, instead of west, back to land. From there, the ending was tragic but inevitable. They flew until their tanks ran dry. Do you think that decision was the right one? Alright, so we've looked at the incredible power of nature, and we've looked at the human factor. So what's the final word? What do the authorities who study this area day in and day out actually have to say? Well, their conclusion might just surprise you, so let's look at the numbers. On average, about 20 boats and planes disappear in that area every year. Now that sounds like a lot, right? It sounds like the legend is true. But here's the thing you have to remember. This is one of the busiest travel corridors in the entire world. When you factor in that huge amount of traffic, the number of incidents isn't unusual at all. It's actually on par with any other busy stretch of ocean with similarly rough weather. And this isn't just a theory, it's backed up by the experts. The US Coast Guard says there is no extraordinary number of disappearances. NOAA, the big weather and ocean agency, confirms that natural environmental factors explain most of these cases. And maybe the most telling fact of all, Lloyd's of London, the biggest insurance market in the world, doesn't even charge higher rates to travel through there. They don't see it as an unusually dangerous place. The mystery, it seems, was largely created by stories, not statistics. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Which brings us to the final, fascinating question. If the science is clear, if the data doesn't back it up, then why are we still so captivated by the legend of the Bermuda Triangle? Maybe it's just that we humans love a good mystery. We're drawn to stories that hint at something bigger, something beyond our control, even when the real answers are much closer to home.